My lovely Sagittarius, this is your horoscope for March 2025. And March will make you focus on your love life or your dating life. Now, for some of you, it will be your kids, month. Or for some of you, it will be about building business, expanding your business, especially if you are business owners, my dear Sag. And also those of you who are in the art sector, industries like dancers, singers, models, you will have a big month coming up. Now, March will be extremely positive. We will have two eclipses. Yes, these eclipses are gifts from universe. The eclipses can be positive. Me, myself, I'm shocked how amazing and positive these eclipses are. Upcoming in March, we will talk about them. Now, I would like to mention that I'm going to make a separate video on eclipses. So stay tuned for that one where we will go much more in detail. But here I will mention as well a couple of things so that you get prepared. Now, even though we will have two personal planets retrograding in March, it seems like, those retrogrades won't be even felt, by you, because those eclipses are amazing. They bring amazing positivity, vibrations, and everything is perfect. And, like we start believing into a better life, and good messages are coming with these eclipses. That's why they will overshadow, those retrograde planets, like slow moving planets, meaning, they will be inefficient. Now, personal planets, Venus and Mercury, to be exact, those two planets will retrograde, and they are personal planets, meaning we feel them the most when they retrograde through situation, through people, through events, more directly in our life. They manifest more directly in a daily life. Now, they will be retrograding, meaning whole March, there should be no beauty procedures because Venus is planet of beauty, my dear Sag. Now, no beauty procedures, no plastic surgeries, skip this month, completely erase this month from your calendar for those kind of things. And plus first half of April, because Venus will retrograde until 13th of April. Now, and also no other medical procedures too, if possible. If you have something planned, postpone it until end of April. Better to do that way, because all those things you might, not like the result, and you might not be satisfied with the result if you do it during March and first half of April, or you might need to do it again, for one or another reason. So there is a huge chance, risk that a lot of things might go wrong with these personal planets retrograding. Now, eclipses, they are like tools, perfect tools of universe to shift our destiny of our life for better future towards our true life path. If we are going if we are going wrong direction, these eclipses are exactly the tools the universe uses to direct us, to correct actually that direction. And these eclipses are positive. They are amazingly positive. That's why amazing huge shift is coming, uplifting shift. I call them elevators of universe. They can get you to the 10th floor immediately, split second. Now, eclipses, they usually bring once in a lifetime situations, like huge situations that turn our life completely, like getting married or having a baby or moving somewhere else, I don't know, buying a car. Something that changes, something that we usually remember for forever, possibly. Now, let's start with these retrograde planets first. 2nd of March, Venus goes retrograde until 13th of April in your house of true love and house of kids and business. This your 5th house will be hugely emphasized in March. Like I can say that whole March, your mind, your heart, all the deeds you're going to be busy around is about your 5th house. Now, 5th house is about, joy of life, how you make yourself happy, how you are happy, how are you satisfied with your life. Plus, 5th house is about kids. It's about creativity. So everything that we create is in the 5th house. Meaning, for example, if you're a business owner, then it's your business also here. Kids, we create them out of joy too. And kids are here. And those specifically who are in the art industry, you guys are also here. Now, Venus will retrograde, meaning will slow down, will be inefficient, will not give proper results for 40 days, 40 nights. Venus retrogrades exactly this month of month of time. It retrogrades every 18 months, so roughly speaking, a year and a half. Now, when Venus retrogrades, plus Venus is about priorities and values, so it's more like you might be reevaluating about your dating experiences, about your past dating experiences, if that's your situation. It's a true love house, fifth house, and here it might give you sort of retrospective mood, whole March, about what kind of people you've dated, or what kind of people you want to date now, or what kind of like values you have, or what kind of values you've presented, or what kind of values were there in the past relationships or in the current one. But these are exactly for those of you guys who start dating or who are single. These are not about relationships that are strong and long term, and not certainly about married couples. It's about those who are single and those who are dating, like freshly dating, because fifth house is exactly that one. Now, Venus retrogrades here, and it might give you this sort of mood of reevaluating your value and values of your partners, for example, or your specific partner. Now, until also, like, fifth house is about kids. For some of you guys, if you say I'm happily married, then it might be about your kids. You might be also in the mood of trying to figure out what kind of let's say hobbies of your kids there is that you can assist, like develop more, or to help them to develop their abilities, skills, and hobbies and talents. Fifth house is about talents, and also about your own personal talents. Some of you guys might get busy about your own talents, like what kind of talent you have, let's say. Maybe it's a crafting, I don't know, maybe it's a cooking or baking or whatever is the skill there, that this Venus might give you sort of going back to those things, going back to the root kind of skills and talents that we usually take for granted. And it's more like about going back to those things and reevaluating them, or maybe reviving them, let's say, and or maybe figuring out, like, let's say, finding out some new talent that you already possessed all the time but you've never discovered, and now you're going to discover it, for example. Now, fifth house is also about business. Now, for you guys, business owners who have like small or big businesses, also here, and Venus here might give you some sort of money, because Venus is also a planet of money, from your past achievements and deeds within your business sector. Maybe your business might give you some, revenue from past deals, or some partnerships or collaborations, or you might start working back again with some business partner, or you might go back to the idea that you wanted to open some business with some person, for example. Now, until end of March, this will be like huge topic around this, fifth house, Venus retrograding. But by the end of March, 27th of March, Venus, because it's going backwards, it will slip into your fourth house. The fourth house is about family and your living situation. Now, Venus will give you retrospective mood related to your real estate. For example, for some of you Sag guys, you might be, how to say, in the process of trying to sell apartment, for example, or to buy, vice versa. And like there is something going on related to your real estate or your living situation. Maybe you are moving from one home to another, or maybe you are changing apartment that you're renting, for example. Some things that are like there related to real estate. For some of you, it might be about only family. Like some of you guys might get busy with your family situation, and Venus might give you here a lot of also thoughts and actions at the same time, give in situations, evaluating what's your value that you're putting into this family, what is your take, let's say, also what they give you as a family too, what kind of family you are, where you are. All these things will be swirling around by the end of March plus April. Now, Fourth house is also house of citizenship, like where we call home. Some of you guys might get busy with your citizenship. You might hear some news because Mercury, a planet of communication, also gonna retrograde. Now, the second planet will be Mercury, planet of communication and ideas and thoughts, all things information, data. During Mercury retrograde, all these mishaps happen. People tend to be more confused, more forgetful, more I don't know, they are mixing information. There might be situations when meetings get canceled or postponed or some mistakes. All these things happen during Mercury retrograde. Now, 15th of March, Mercury starts retrograding, same as Venus, almost overlapping with the Venus, is like hand in hand together in your fifth house. Now, this whole March, you see, these two planets, they will be putting a lot of activity in your mind there, in your fifth house that I mentioned just now. Mercury will also be there, also slow and moving backwards. Now, fifth house, as I said, is about love. Those are dating experiences. You might hear back from your ex partners because Mercury is communication. Those partners might think about you and get into contact with you, or you might have such a temptation, plus Venus is in your fifth house, to contact your ex-partners, for example. Or you might have a situation that you hear some news about them, or you might like meet somewhere them. There could be this kind of situation. Usually when Mercury retrogrades in our love house, those love partners, they all of a sudden think about us. Now, I wouldn't advise you to revive the relationship during Mercury retrograde, because when Mercury goes direct, you might open your eyes and realize why you actually broke up at the first place with that person, and there was no need to start again that relationship or give a second chances. But sometimes if you think that it's a strong and there is a chance, then of course you can go ahead. But still, when Mercury goes direct, usually people get sort of this cloud over their head gets cleared out. Now, Mercury also will retrograde until 7th of April, a little less than Venus, but by the end of March, 30th of March, it will also slip back into your fourth house. Now, you see this Venus and Mercury, they will be together touring your fifth house whole March, and then fourth house whole April. Now, this by the end of March, your mind, your focus switching to your family, as I said, or your real estate. And there will be some sort of communication there. You might get like viewings, for example, if you are in a process of selling apartment, or if you're in process of buying apartment, some news are coming here. Or it might be about your citizenship, as I said, if that is your case, like you're moving, relocating somewhere. It's not necessarily citizenship, it's about residence permits, it's about visas also. Now, fourth house is also family, the one that we build and that we come from, and it's about mother. Some of you guys might get quite busy in April with your mother's affairs, wherever is that. Maybe your mother is getting married, or maybe she's giving birth, or something could be there, or maybe it's related to her health and you will need to help her with some things. So there is a lot of huge activity there within your family. Together with this Mercury, you might hear like your mom might come visit you, for example, or you might go back home to stay, to live with them for a while, maybe even moving back home, or especially if you're a student, maybe your studies are finished and now you're going back, as an example. Or you're just visiting them, or someone from your family is coming to visit you, most probably mother, or either it could be like your father or siblings. Now, let's talk about these eclipses now, finally. First one will hit 14th of March. Eclipses, they always come in two, like pairs. And these are amazingly positive. I can't wait them to happen, to be honest. Now, 14th of March, we will have full moon lunar eclipse. Now, full moons are conclusions, or they put some light onto some situation. Now, this one is big one, and it's happening in your highest point of your chart, 10th house. 10th house is a house of career, my dear Sag. It's a house where you shine. It's a house where you are respectable. Let's say it's about your influence. It's about how all other people respect you, and about your career, of what you achieved in life, let's say career wise. Those of you who are born 15th of December, plus or minus 5 days, you will be affected the most. But because it's eclipse, because, it's not like regular full moon or new moons. They are 10 times stronger than just a full moon or new moon. So that's why we will all get some upgrade of our life. But those of you guys who are born exactly around that date that I mentioned, or if you have 23 degrees planets or placements of any sign, actually. Now, eclipses, always allow them 3 months before or 3 months after to unfold completely the situation or event or some life change, completely bring it into your life so that you see what's changed. Some of you guys might have already gotten news of this eclipse, or some of you guys might get it like in the future. Now, this one is highly positive, so there is no possibility that you will not notice it. There is no chance, like you definitely will notice this message. This eclipses, always check your rising sign and moon sign. All the horoscopes are written for rising sign, my dear Sag, if you knew. That's why rising sign is usually more relatable, and moon sign too for some of you guys, depending on what time of the day of your born. Now, anyhow, check all three: your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, so that you will be on a fuller aware what's to come in March, let's say. Now, this eclipse will have amazing support from surprise planet Uranus from your house of work and Mars from your house of money. Now, Mars is action planet. It's already moving forward, correcting its direction since becoming direct on 24th of February. Now, slow but steady, it's going full force almost. Now, these two planets, there is a surprise. There might be a job offer. You might seal the deal here if you've been working towards some application, or you've been sending your job applications, and you might get here amazing news related to new job position within your company, or completely new, let's say, work, completely new job offer somewhere in a different company, because both of your work houses are activated. Now, that is your career house, and Uranus is surprise planet in your 6th house of work, and Mars is in your 8th house. It's about money, and here seems like money will be more and you will be satisfied. Now, only thing, Saturn will oppose this eclipse, but and Uranus and Mars will mitigate the effects of Saturn, will try to make it more gentle. So Saturn here will be more like gently reminding you about responsibilities, because Saturn is about responsibilities and hard work. It's a work planet. Now, Saturn will be in your 4th house. So it seems like there will be some things going on within your family, like responsibilities in front of your family. For example, you get a job offer, which also has like a lot of responsibilities and a lot of working hours. But Saturn will remind you here not to forget about your family, that you also have obligations there, in front of your wife or husband or kids. So you will need to somehow also find time to spend with them, while you got this job and with huge responsibility plus a lot of working hours. So you might need to juggle here. Now, or some of you guys, it might be about real estate, especially if you guys are selling or buying here. So Saturn will remind you that you will need to put some money there. You will need to spare some money. No need to be spending it to somewhere else. So this real estate situation needs your attention, especially about money, because Saturn rules your money house, my dear Sag. And this job offer will come very handy to support that, purchase or sell a deal of your real estate, whatever is that, if you're living there or if it's for business, whatever is your situation. It might be about some sort of a apartment or some place. Now, this Uranus, for some of you, it might be also not about work completely. If you say it's not about that, I'm very satisfied, or I'm not planning to change any job, then it might be about your health, because it's a health house, and Uranus in your well-being house, and Mars is in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is about healing and also health and also crisis sort of situation. And Mars, it rules sharp things, including medical knives, and 8th house being in 8th house, it's about surgeries too. Now, those of you, who has this kind of situation related to your health, it might be, or it could be to your, not your health, but your children's health too, because Mars rules your kids in your chart. It might be situation about your kid, for example, or yours, and so here, no worries about that. Everything will go smooth because full moon will make conclusion, very happy and positive one. But you or your kid might need to follow some sort of healing journey, like being at home, or like a bed regime, like say a resting regime. So they will need to follow something, like especially being, I don't know, at home, or eating some certain food, like following some sort of diet. This kind of things might be coming in because of Saturn will be there reminding you that. But all in all, everything will go very well, and you might get final conclusion, final diagnosis, or final healing delivered, or if especially those of you who has, like, let's say surgeries or something. Now, anyhow, I will speak more deeply and more in detail in a separate video, as I said, so stay tuned. Now, just so you know, that ruler of this eclipse will be in your 5th house conjunct Venus. You know, in whatever situation you were having already, because full moons are about situations that are already there. Now, some difficult, let's say, situation, that situation might get resolved. So no worries around that, because 5th house is about happiness. It's about joy of life. And ruler of eclipse conjunct Venus, planet of love and beauty, you will be sort of satisfied with the result of that situation. This eclipse has a power to bring amazing resolution there. Now, second eclipse, new moon solar eclipse, will happen in this happy part of your chart, 5th house, 29th of March. Now, those of you who are born 30th of November, plus or minus 5 days, you will be affected the most because it's happening at 8 degrees. Now, this eclipse I call Destiny one. I will make also a separate video here, so stay tuned for more details, but I'd like to mention why I call this Destiny one, because all the destiny planets, all the karmic planets are taking huge role here. So something destined, very positive, something, fated is coming, or someone. And let me tell you, there are no negative or bad aspects about this eclipse. It's jaw-dropping, actually, looking at that chart of this eclipse. Mind-blowing, let me tell you. Now, new moons are new energies. Now, this eclipse will be supported by Pluto, karmic planet of transformation, in your 3rd house, which is situated in your 3rd house. And this is a karmic planet, and it's about transformation. Now, some sort of contract, especially if you are in an art area, like industry, those of you who are singers, actors, you will get a once in a lifetime chance here to shine your star, my dear Sag. You might get popular here, and because 5th house is about talents, and it's about Pluto in your 3rd house. You might be contacted with some agent, very respectable, very powerful, very with a lot of money and influence. You might, and someone who based somewhere far in a foreign land, someone who is famous, might reach out to you with the offer to collaborate or to promote your skills and talents, and all these things might be sort of a deal there on the table for you. Now, for some of you, it might be about kids. Now, you might get a news that you're pregnant because it's a new moon solar eclipse. Something life-changing is coming here, and 3rd house is a news, So those of you who've been planning to get pregnant, so congratulations, you might become parents here, literally, or you might find out that you're pregnant. Such a happy news. Congratulations on that if that is your case. Now, for some of you, it might be opening up business moment. By the end of March, seems like you will be ready to open the doors of your new business or store. It doesn't matter, online store. So you might get involved into your own sort of entrepreneurial journey, for example. Now, ruler of this eclipse, Mars, will be in your 8th house of money, also supported by another 2 karmic destiny planets, Saturn and Uranus. Now, Saturn will be in your family house, Uranus will be in your health house and work house, Now, these 2 planets, they will amazingly support the ruler of eclipse. So something is coming here related to health, either conception, as I said, it's about pregnancy. Many, like your kids' houses, are activated here. A lot of you guys might find out that you're pregnant, or you might actually deliver a baby, let's say, or it might be related to someone at home having a news. Also, like your siblings or sisters, they might get pregnant and they might tell you the news, share the news, let's say. Now, for some of you, it might be related with the surgery or with some sort of procedure, medical procedure, which will go extremely well, which will go amazingly well, and there won't be any issues with that. No worries on that. Now, for some of you, it might be related money. Now, 8th house is about money, especially investments, especially your tax return money or loans, like especially those of you who have bank loans, or if you've applied for bank loans and you're waiting for approval, you will get the approval, my dear Sag. No worries on that, especially those of you who are trying to get a loan for housing, let's say for apartment, for purchases. Anyhow, we will talk more deeply on a separate video, so stay tuned, my dear Sag. Now, by the end of March, we have another big transit going on. Neptune, planet of magic and spirituality, on 30th of March will move into your same 5th house. You see, this 5th house is crazy lit in March until 22nd of October. Now, you know, this is big because Neptune was never in your 5th house in our lifetime, and it will never be again in our lifetime. That is a slow moving planet, and it takes 14 years to change sign. So, you know, last time it was in your 5th house, it was back in 19th century, from 1861 until 1875. So this will be huge. Next 14 years of what to expect from Neptune. Now, I will make also a separate video on this because this one deserves one video. I will go through historical events for whole humanity. So what to expect for us as a planet and for whole humanity historically, and also personally. I'll go through all the zodiacs so that you might relate what and to think what to expect, you know, from this transit. But here I would like to mention that Neptune will retrograde after 22nd of October. It will go back into your 4th house where it spent the last 14 years since 2011. So it will give you time to finish up, you know, all those things that you've been busy. And it will be back into your 5th house in January 2026 for a long 14 years. Now, Neptune, you know, in a 4th house, it's a ruler of your 4th house, and it was at home, it was strong, and it was ruling it since 2011. Like Neptune here was giving you quite a lot of let's say pink glasses about family, about this institute, you know, family, how what it takes to be family, how to be family. You might have been, let's say, thinking about it more easily and more let's say through pink glasses, sort of illusions. But when Neptune moves out from that 4th house, you might finally see the true picture. You know, that there is behind a huge work needs to be done to be a family, to make a family, let's say. Or you might find out some truth about your family, or whatever is that the one that you build or the one that you're coming from. Now, because, you know, Neptune is a planet of illusions also. Now, for some of you, it might have been huge love, you know, for the past decade. Unconditional love, you know, is significator of Neptune. And 4th house, you know, it was transiting your 4th house. It gave you chance to have someone beside you who loves you unconditionally, or it gave you chance for you to fall in love with someone like that, you know, such a huge love story, let's say. And also 4th house is about real estate. Now, Neptune here gave you a lot of plenty opportunities, maybe to buy or to sell, and you might have been, you know, quite a let's say a lot of the time selling and buying real estate. And apartment was relatively easy, let's say. Neptune is linked with ocean, so there is no boundary to offers and options. So here you had quite a lot of options there. Now, anyhow, I will talk more in detail in a separate video, as I said. So I wish you amazing March, and March will be extremely positive. Love you all. Bye bye.